Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We're going to have a look at this story now, but before we do go into it and have a look, I want to say two things. One, because of the nature of the story, I'm going to have to be very careful of the words I use. And secondly, I am aware of the age of the perpetrator at the time he committed these things. However, even taking that into consideration, I feel that his punishment was nowhere near severe enough. I feel he still represents a clear and present danger, particularly to women. And I think you'll agree, having got to the end of it, if you get to the end of it, that you'll see that there is a pattern of emergent behaviour, which means that I think he should not be released for many, many years. He needs to be completely kept away, out of society, given what he's done and given what he's now still capable of doing, because he's still a young, fit, strong man. So we will go into this now, but I just wanted to give you that heads up before we go in. But it is actually a sad still reflection on the Scottish justice system that this, what is now a man, has been released after doing only 2 years for some pretty horrifically bad crimes. Here goes. Right, so if you're one of my very, very regular viewers, about 60% of my regular viewers are not subscribed. So if you could hit that subscribe button, that would really help with the metrics. It does push the videos more. It means that the truth gets out there, and that we can maintain our pressure on people, and just to make sure that the truth is not hidden. So plus it looks good as well, I mean, to be honest. So if you are one of my regulars and you haven't yet subscribed, now would be an excellent time to do it. Anyway, I'm just leaving the top line there slightly off the page because YouTube doesn't like certain words being on screen too long. But double aura of women who attacked schoolgirls is back on the streets after 2 years in prison. Oliver Barry, 24, was convicted of R-ing and abusing two ex-girlfriends aged just 13 and 15 at the time, punching them both in the stomachs, this was as well, when they feared they were pregnant. What a gent. Now, the thing is, I will say he was very young at the time, but that isn't the worst of it. The fact that he's done it twice, and then, the physicality as well, and he's got a whole history of it. This is someone who has virtually no understanding or empathy with women. And when we get into this story, you'll see what a true monster he is. So a double aura who terrorised his victims as schoolgirls is back on the streets after just 2 years behind bars. Not what I'd have given him, which would be 30 to life. Oliver Barry, 24, was convicted of R-ing and abusing two ex-girlfriends, just 13 and 15 at the time, and punching them both when they feared they were pregnant. He traumatised victims, called on prosecutors to fight for... His traumatised victims called on prosecutors to fight for a tougher sentence when Barry was jailed for just 4 years back in 2021. He's done half that, and now he's released. He's back on the streets. And he's still a danger to women. In a heartbreaking letter to a parole board earlier this year, one of the women begged for her attacker to remain locked up, saying, "He took my childhood from me." But the aura from Ayr has now been granted early release after serving just half his sentence. And there he is. And it's from Ayr. So now that he's out, I hope the good people of Ayr keep an eye out for him. Barry's second victim, now 24, said, "For what he put myself and the other victim through, 2 years is absolutely nothing." I bet it is, and he needed harder time than that. The justice system is a joke. He does this to girls and he gets 2 years. What message does that send out? I mean, you take it with the other things that we've covered here in the past, with one guy doing it to a child and walking free from court. Is that justice? Is that what the Scottish justice system is now? It's absolutely okay to do this to children. At the very worst, you're going to get a slap on the wrist. When he was jailed, it was refreshing, she said, to finally go outside and not be looking over my shoulder. I knew where he was and I wasn't going to bump into him, but now that has just been torn away from me. I feel completely trapped. I feel like I can't go out, and the only time I leave my house is for work. He could be anywhere. Barry was convicted after a trial at the High Court in Glasgow of R-ing his first victim, then aged just 13, between October 13 and April 14, when he was between 14 and 15 years of age. So I have to take that into consideration. And if it was a one-off, you could leave it there. But it wasn't a one-off. And when you read now what else he did, you'll understand why I think he should never be released. He was also convicted of assaulting the schoolgirl at a property in Ayr and in a car park on various occasions between April 13 and July 15, and repeatedly punching her on the body when he believed she might be expecting his baby. What a great guy. Barry's second victim was 15 when he assaulted her between June and December 2014, and was also punched when she thought she might be pregnant. He R'd her in 2015 when she was 16 years of age. She told the Record how he cheated on her with 26 other people and controlled every aspect of her life, even forcing her to fall asleep while on FaceTime. What a totally inadequate little man he is. He is a nobody, a nothing. He would not be missed. When she feared she may be pregnant, she was punched with full force in the stomach, leaving her on the floor in tears. Lord Richardson jailed Barry for the horrific offences and added his name to the SO's register indefinitely, saying his crimes were very serious and must be dealt with a significant custodial sentence. 4 years is not significant. 40 would be better. He said this ARA had inflicted pain and trauma on his victims and had significant and continuing impact on their lives, and will do for every day he's still outside. Barry's lawyer, Jennifer Bain, said he maintained he was innocent, but he claimed he recognised how immature he was at the time of the offences. That is not a defence, and he is not innocent. His second victim wrote to the parole board in February after learning he was being considered for release. She wrote, "Every day is a struggle for me, mentally and physically. I see how other lives are progressing around me. This is not how I should be living. Please give me my last 2 years of partial peace before I have to live the rest of my life in fear of him again." And the board ignored the victim. The board confirmed his release this month, saying it was satisfied that the level of risk posed by this individual can safely be managed in the community. If he does anything again, let's just think how a parole board should work. Anyone on the parole board who signs off to release someone, if that person then goes on to commit a crime, it doesn't matter what that crime is, regardless of what that crime is. Everyone on that parole board who signed him off stands in the dock with him and gets the same sentence. And that will mean that parole will become a lot harder, which is where it should be. He's been banned from attempting to approach or contact his victim or enter a 1 mile radius of Ayr town centre. That won't help. Given he's already a criminal, do you think he's going to be bothered by that? She said, "It was so hard to write that letter. I put everything into it. When I got the letter to say he was free, it didn't feel real. It was devastating. At least now people will know he's out there and what he's capable of." The Parole Board of Scotland said it does not comment on individual cases. The Parole Board of Scotland needs to be disbanded and everyone on it shamed, have their names publicised, their addresses publicised, when they're releasing monsters like that onto the street. How long before he does it again? And then which of the parole people, the parole board members, will admit that they were wrong? They will never admit that. But he will do this again. Because he has got the pattern of emergent behaviour. Physicality, sexual offences. He isn't going to stop unless he's stopped. So, I mean, if the good people of Ayr are out and around and they see this man, I don't think it would be anyone would care too much if he was educated in a somewhat physical way. There he is, look at him. He looks like a right nonce, doesn't he? That'll be the next thing. He likes them young. He'll be back in jail, I do hope. Anyway, I'm going to stop there and come up because I'm not going to waste any more time on him, but he is just a monster. Now, how can anyone sitting on a parole board look at the record of this man and think he's safe to release? I think the establishment is trying desperately to normalise this kind of behaviour, to normalise the abuse of young people. 13-year-olds, they're fair game now. And if they only give them 2 years in prison, you know, they keep shrinking. The next one will only get 18 months, a year, 8 months, 3 months. Well, a little slap on the wrist. In fact, we weren't even going to prosecute. That's what will happen over time. Chipping away, salami slicing it time and time again. Until eventually, basically doing this to children will be the norm and will be accepted as, you know, the sort of thing. Because that's what the establishment are doing. By not imposing 30, 40, 50 years for this kind of crime, they're just saying it's acceptable. They're saying it's okay to do this. Start putting your 30, 40, 50 years on people like this, and there'll be a lot less of it. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. Personally, actually, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to say one more thing. Personally, I don't think he should get. I think these people should get 7 days. They walk out the court. They go to prison for 7 days, and at the end of it, they walk up 3 steps, and then they dangle for the next rest of their life, which wouldn't take that long. That's my personal view. Anyway, now I'll stop. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see and hear on the channel, do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and if you are in Ayr and you're a young girl, be aware that they're letting out monsters to get you. Bye.